Hello everybody, you want to see my shelter build, so don't go away, check this video, consider subscribing. Today we are going to do a small shelter at winter time. Yeah, it's pretty cold, -6 degrees, so I'm just going to do a small bushcraft shelter to stay a bit warmer. And yeah, as always, a small fire, nothing to it. So if you want to see while I'm building my small shelter, don't go away. So this is what I found. Here is my small shelter, just for one person. We shall see how it goes. I'm planning to do a small fire here in front of the shelter, so I can get a bit warmer because it's pretty cold today. It's pretty good to have a solid rock like this as one of the walls, because if you want to think about the risks and falling trees, you have a pretty good solid rock here if the trees falls from that side or that side. Nothing if they fall from that side, so, or from back. So this is good. And we also have a solid wind protection with this rock from this side. So here I have a nice pile of spruce tree branches. It's not optimal for this shelter because, as you can see, it's pretty frozen and plenty of snow in it. But the reason I'm using this is because this tree was already cut down and delimbed. So I found it just 10 meters from here. So I thought I will use that. I save some work and it's better for the nature also. Then when I break down my camp, I can put it back. As you can see, it's going to be a pretty tight, snug fit. And this will only act as my, for example, in a emergency situation, as a overnighter shelter. If I keep it a bit smaller, it's easier to warm up. But this was maybe ridiculously small. So I should have gone for a bigger rock. But let's do this for fun. I don't want any branches on the inside, but on the outside it's okay because I can use them to fix all the spruce branches on it so it won't slip down. pretty icy. So the bad thing about this, when it gets warm in your shelter, all this ice and snow is going to melt and start dripping inside. But I'm not going to do an overnighter in this one, so I'm just building this to show you all guys. A small shelter build. Because this was a small shelter, I didn't do any crossbars. So if you're building a bigger one, you can do crossbars like this, here, here. Then it's easier to fix this when it's smaller pieces. I have pretty big pieces, so it's okay this one. Get my hatchet here. When you're building the shelter, you can think that you want to start, if you have, for example, smaller, shorter pieces, you start from the bottom and overlapping like this. So when it rains or something, it doesn't come in as much. If you start from the top and down, you're overlapping. You can get water in then. So start from the bottom and overlap like this and go upwards. Oh, so this is pretty much the shelter done. From the inside you can see where I have gaps, and you can just put more there to keep it more water resistant. And if this was dry and not full of snow like this one, I would have used this like a bedding, so you can insulate yourself from the cold from the ground. But I have my mat here to sit on, so I won't do a bedding because otherwise I will get wet with this. But if you are in a situation you need to do a bedding, don't have a mat, then take fresh spruce if it's depending on you keeping warm over the night. So now we're going to get started with the fireplace here. I brought some firewood with me, so it's nice and dry. Some tea, warm tea. When you're out like this in a cold condition, it's easy to forget that you need to drink, because your body won't say that you're thirsty as it will say when you're thirsty when it's warm. So you need to remember yourself and force yourself to drink, because building a small shelter or a bigger one is going to drain your energy and your fluid in your body, and you need to remember to drink so you don't get dehydrated. Pretty cozy. I'm a small guy, so I do fit. So I just want the fire here so it can give me some warmth. If it was even colder, I could build a reflector wall here to reflect more of the heat into me. But I'm just going to be here a few hours more, and I don't need that. So here we have the fires going now. It was a bit too close for me, got too warm, and so I moved it a bit. I moved it here because it started to blow from that direction and the fire's going like inwards. So the best thing I could do is build a reflector here if I should stay here, and then the fire won't blow towards me. I don't know if you can see, but now it's dripping all over the place because, as I told you earlier, the spruce was covered with ice and snow. Yeah, so that's not so good. So it's pretty good in here, getting warmer. Everything's starting to melt, so it's dripping inside of here in a few places, mostly in the front here. And so I moved the fire a bit because it was too close when it started to blow. So building a reflector on the other side would have helped me from getting the fire in my face. But it's pretty cozy in here. I don't know if you can see, but it's smoking from the shelter here. It's getting pretty warm inside. Trying to get out some of this ice because it's melting pretty much inside of there. So if you're going to do a shelter like this and really going to stay there, do never use like I did when everything is frozen and snowed on, because you're going to have a wet shelter inside. Yeah, so that was the video for this time. Pretty small shelter for staying the night if you needed to, and nothing I'm going to use now. As you saw in this video, I was using spruce that's all frozen and snowed on, so it's started to drip pretty much inside when I got my fire going, because it's pretty cold out here, but it's really warm inside of there. So it's a pretty good shelter to stay warm in if you want to stay over the night, but make sure you have plenty of firewood because you will need it. And to the next time, have a great day.